You have now unlocked the door into another realm, a reality where sight, mind, imagination, and time collide. Prepare yourself, for you are entering the Dream Zone. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Dream Zone. Now, this one is a nightmare that I had years ago, but it's stuck with me ever since I had it because I just wonder why I had this dream. And I like to call it the Groundhog Day nightmare. And you'll see as you watch why I call it that. So let's get right to it. Okay, this one started out me and this blonde girl that I knew in my dream, but I don't know who she is. We're walking down this neighborhood road. Everything's all calm and quiet. And we turn off and go walk up this hill to a house, an old white house on the top of this hill. And the door's open, so we just walk on in. And there's a guy sitting in a recliner watching TV. And for some reason, I know this guy's name is Matt. Why Matt? So we walk past him, we go into the kitchen that's off to the right, we get to the stove, and on top of the stove is a bunch of raw meat in a broiler pan sitting on top of the stove. And as soon as I reach for the stove to turn it on, then we're walking down the road again. We walk up the little hill to the little white house, walk through the door, see Matt on the recliner. We walk through the den into the kitchen. I go to the stove and I see the meat in the broiler pan and I reach out to get the meat and then we're walking down the road again. We go up the hill, see the little white house, walking through the door. We see Matt in the recliner. We go through the den into the kitchen. We get to the stove and I reach out to get the meat and then we're walking down the road again. Go up the hill, see the little white house. We walk through, and this time Matt looks over at me and goes, "Hey, cook the meat." And just starts watching TV again. So we look at each other and we're like, okay. So we go into the kitchen and as soon as we get to the stove, I reach out as fast as I can and turn the knob. And then she goes back into the pantry and the pantry door shuts. And then I woke up. When I woke up from this dream or nightmare, I was literally like, I sprung out of bed like in a cold sweat, like, what was that witch after? Why was she after me? And what made the meat? Why was she scared of the meat being cooked? And it's like she was trying to stop us from cooking it, but once I hit the knob, that, scared her away. And it really, it affected me like all day long. I remember being affected by this dream, and that's why I remembered it so well, is because it just had me thinking. It's like I know a lot of theories about dreams, and I know that most dreams only happen a few seconds at a time. But this one was like not, I don't want to say recurring nightmare because that's a nightmare that you have like, you might have the same nightmare, once a year or once a month or even once a week. But this was in one dream, a repeating of the dream itself. And it kept on happening 3 times in a row until finally Matt, whoever he is, looks up at me and tells me to cook the meat. Then I go to cook the meat and it scared her away. This was like a story that happened in my mind. Like, why would I even wake up at that time? Why couldn't I continue the story? Why did I start in the middle of the road with it? And who was this blonde girl that was with me? What's her story? What was my story? And I just want to know. I wish I could just go back and dream the beginning or the end of that. I feel like it was the middle of a movie that I was in, and that's what made it so cool. And that's what makes dreams and nightmares so cool. But anyway, guys, what are your theories on this type of dream? Do you have any? Have you had any dreams like this? Let me know in the comments below. And remember to make yourself happy every day. And the only way to do that is to remember the only thing stopping you is you stopping. Bam!